EU welcomes Marikana inquiry and recommendation to reclassify Dacha ban. Good evening, I'm Greg Hoos. The President of the European Council, Herman van Rompuy, has welcomed South Africa's appointment of a judicial inquiry into the Marikana tragedy. He was speaking after a South Africa-EU summit in Brussels, at which President Jacob Zuma promised that government would move swiftly to ensure the truth is uncovered about the death of 45 people during the Marikana mine tragedy. The Marikana incident has caused concern in global financial markets. The EU is South Africa's biggest trading partner. Van Rompuy summed up today's talks.
The focus of today's discussions was on the economy, how to stimulate growth and employment through our strategic partnership and contribute to global economic recovery. These questions have become even more acute in the context of the recent mining violence in South Africa. The events at the Marikana mine were a tragedy, and I welcome the Judicial Commission of Inquiry set up by President Zuma.
After the meeting, President Zuma also spoke about how government has dealt with Marikana.
I believe that the manner in which we have swiftly attended to the situation and we are now in full control, that must give comfort to investors, particularly because that has happened within the background of a very stable democracy, a very stable rule of law and a clear constitution. So I would say to the investors, nothing beyond this would make an investor to be worried about South Africa. We remain a democratic country. We are in control of the situation. And I think South Africa remains a destination for investment.
The presidential report to the COSATU Congress has emphasized that the key economic strategy for the country is to redistribute the country's resources and to take control of the commanding heights of the national economy to lift millions of people out of poverty. The report says the concepts of redistribution of wealth and nationalization are widely held to be interchangeable. COSATU spokesperson Patrick Craven.
There's a lot of focus on the word nationalisation, which is very misleading. The Freedom Charter doesn't mention the word, but it's quite implicit in what it's saying. And when we say taking over the commanding heights of the economy, it's completely applying the same. But it's always been COSATU's view that nationalisation must be carried out in a democratic, transparent way, so that it doesn't just lead to a private monopoly being placed by a public monopoly run by unaccountable bureaucrats.
SABC board member Kawe Mashlati says rampant corruption and maladministration in the public broadcaster, which she claims is concealed by the board, is one of the reasons they want to get rid of her. She was responding after board chairperson Ben Ngubane and his deputy gave a damning report explaining why they want her to be removed from the board. They say she disrespects other board members and refuses to cooperate with them. All three are currently appearing before Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Communication. Mercedes Besent reports.
Mashlati has described herself as a voice of reason within the SABC board. She also accused Ben Ngubane of an autocratic leadership style who has his own favorite board members. Mashlati says she welcomes the inquiry into her conduct, saying that she wants to expose the corruption and maladministration in the corporation, adding that she will bring evidence to prove it. Mercedes Besent, SABC News, Parliament.
A government commission has recommended that Rastafarians be allowed to carry on them at least 100 grams of dacha for spiritual reasons without prosecution. The Commission for the Promotion and Protection of the Rights of Cultural, Religious and Linguistic Communities says the Ministry of Police also needs to reclassify the ban on dacha. The recommendations have been submitted to various government departments. Well, news just in is that the more than 5-week strike at Lonmin has ended as the mine workers have agreed on a 22% increase. Just to recap that, the strike at Lonmin has ended. Mine workers have agreed on a 22% wage hike.